you want to become a probation officer, you do have to have this one thing. Keep watching to the end so that you can make sure you know exactly what this one thing is and how you can start making changes. My name is Sarah Edwards and I'm an ex-probation officer. I've gone through the same process that you are probably going through. I've got a degree in psychology and criminology, and then I done the probation officer training. I've since left my job and I now coach and tutor students like you who are studying psychology and criminology and who want to be probation officers or get into the field of criminal justice. I just want to share with you some thoughts that I had before I became a probation officer, and some thoughts that some of you guys have shared with me just from social media when you ask me questions and things like that. My first thought was, I'm too young. So I was always thinking the probation officers that I saw looked older, they seemed more mature, and I used to think, oh well, I'm not going to be, old enough for that kind of job. And I also hear you guys asking me the same thing. One thing that I would say, now that I'm a little bit older, you do kind of have a bit more life, like real life experience as you get older. So I'm in my 30s, and before I became a probation officer, I had certain life experience that I had experienced or that I had observed. But now that I'm a bit older, I have lived through a few different things. But that doesn't mean to say that I would be a better probation officer now than I was then. It's more, can you really empathise? Can you understand someone else's point of view? You don't have to have gone through the exact same thing as them to be able to empathise with someone. It's more about your belief in yourself, your belief in your abilities, that you can do this and that you are the right person and have the right qualities for this. So I would say age is not a factor. You do have to be over 18, but apart from that, it's more about the kind of person that you are. You can be 22, 23 and quite mature, so don't let that be a barrier. So I was 25 when I started the training. I was 26 when I qualified, and I was one of the youngest on the programme. There were people that were 27, 28, 30, 33. Some of you have asked, there was a question on TikTok, I think you were 29, and is that too old? No way is 29 too old. And the reason I say this is because people on my trainee programme were that age and above. There were people that were PSOs and hadn't started their training yet who were much older than that. There were, psychologists that I met that were starting their training around that age. So you get to open your eyes when you're actually working there to see that it's not everyone that just comes straight from uni that does it. Also, some students that I work with that are training to be psychotherapists, counsellors, police officers have all done that in their 30s. And I feel like there's something about approaching 30 or becoming 30 that makes you kind of have a change in life. I mean, that's when I decided to quit my job. It's just something about the journey that you are going on that makes you kind of reevaluate things. So definitely, whether you're at the younger age of the spectrum, or it's not really old, but the older age of the spectrum, yes, definitely 100% go for it. Make sure you surround yourself with people that are going to boost you up. Surround yourself with, motivations, with people that are people and things. I mean people, things like podcasts, YouTube channels, self-development books that are really going to help you achieve that goal. You might also be thinking, well, I can't deal with that kind of job. It seems so hard. You might have seen some of the comments, or maybe you work in probation and you hear what other people are saying about the demands of the job, or it might be the nature of the people that you're working with. What I say to that is, you don't know until you try something. Sometimes you can be so much in your head. It's good to take information in, but sometimes we need to take action and do things that scare us a little bit, do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. And if you decide that you don't like it and it's not for you, then that's completely fine. It's all part of your experience. But I would say sometimes even if you're working in probation, wherever you're thinking of working, you create a picture in your head from maybe information you've seen from what I've spoken about, from uni, from whatever, and you create that picture in your mind. That's just a mental picture. You've not actually lived it, done it, experienced it, and you hopefully are growing as a person as well. So something that you may have thought was difficult, not achievable, was challenging, maybe in a couple of years it won't be so much for you. Again, I'm a big believer in just take action, just try something. It's part of the process of life. Okay, here is another one that I find holds people back. So as you know, I coach graduates and students, and I was having a coaching session with someone recently who was, had a master's in criminal justice. She is in her late 20s, doesn't have any family responsibilities, doesn't have a partner, anything like that. The one thing was, I want to stay in my area, so I'm only looking for jobs in my area. That is a limiting belief, because you are used to what is comfortable. You are used to your routine, your house, maybe you've got some close friends there, maybe you have got family there. You don't really have responsibilities like a mortgage yet, or a partner or husband that you need to refer to, or children that you have to think about moving school. So it's all about perspective, and sometimes just hearing what other people's experiences are can help you get that perspective of, well, actually, yeah, maybe I am limiting myself. So I had another person that asked me a question, there's no jobs in Wales. So think about this as well. If you're in a place where there are no jobs, do you really want to be stuck there? And I use the word stuck because you are going to be stuck there. There's no jobs because there's only so much you can do. Think about what is keeping you there. Is it that you have your close friends that you're comfortable with? Is it that you have family that you're comfortable with? Have you got children there, husband there? Really evaluate your life and take a step back. Again, I knew someone in my training program who was in Cornwall. She moved from Cornwall to London to do the training, and I think she might have even moved back there now. But it's about taking those little risks that may feel difficult. So with both those examples, I bring it back to having that belief in yourself that, yeah, you can do something different, that you can break the mold, and that you will be okay. Another thing is, you might look at jobs and think, oh, well, that salary's out of reach, or the job description is out of reach. Again, have that belief that, yeah, you can be the kind of person that earns that kind of salary. You can be the kind of person that does that job. It may not be instantly, but you can be that kind of person that commits to working towards that goal. Don't be limited by your past. That will really, really help you have that belief in yourself. And do you know what? When you start believing in yourself, possibilities are endless. So once I started believing in myself, I applied for the probation officer job. I got the probation officer job. I moved to London. I'd done things that were scary, even once I was a probation officer. Going to parole hearings, they are scary, but the more you do, the more belief you have in yourself. I had to chair meetings. The more you do that, the more belief you have in yourself, and the more confidence that you can go on to achieve bigger and better things. I was a safeguarding point of contact. Again, it was a role of responsibility that maybe I wouldn't have put myself forward to before. Endless possibilities once you start believing in yourself. Once I started believing in myself, I started making bigger and bolder decisions. I've written a book, I've quit my job, I've started a business. Don't always think that, don't hold yourself back, basically. That's the main message that I want to get across for you today. And with everything, if you really want to learn how to start believing in yourself, and you can join me on my coaching programs, where I will go through step by step how you can actually start implementing things, how you can actually stay committed and consistent with it, and I'll share with you exactly how I've managed to do it in extreme detail. All the links are below to join me on my programs, and make sure to share this video with someone so that they are also elevating themselves as well and on their way to a journey after uni.